Difficult. Women.
Hey.
Hi. I've lit a candle for us.
It's really romantic.
It's so romantic.
It's really
you
romantic.
guys.
I love a good candle. I kicked the table and I almost knocked the candle off the floor.
Please don't catch my apartment on fire.
We don't need that.
Please.
That's less romantic.
Who are you?
I'm Katie. Who are you?
Marie.
Oh, nice to meet you.
And folks, you are listening to the Difficult Women podcast.
Yes, we're also in a band called Reformed Whores. You should look it up.
That's right. You know what our music is perfect for?
Well, should I say it or should I let you say it? I don't know. That was one where I was like, I do know, but I don't know if I'm going to steal your thunder. I'm just going to
tell me. What
was going to say
answer?
Valentine's Day?
Yeah!
Yay!
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't mean to ruin
Oh my
your
God. Since
punchline.
love is in the air, I have the craziest thing I've been saving to tell you.
Oh my God. What?
This is so fucked up, dude.
Oh no. God.
This is so fucked up.
Oh no. What is it?
Do you remember that guy I dated 2 years ago? 7 dates.
Oh, yes.
We slept together 4 or 5 times.
What the fuck? What?
2 years.
Yes.
He texted me 3 nights ago. Hey, it's been so long. How's life? How's things?
What the actual fuck?
This guy completely ghosted me. I remember the last text. I really liked him too. The last text
he was nice.
I sent was like, "Hey, we have a show in your neighborhood. If you want to join us, or I can meet up afterwards. Let me know." And then he said, "I have a work thing, but I'll text you later."
He
never heard from him again. We saw him on the subway platform
right.
like several months after the fact, and then I kind of like hid behind a pillar because I was like, I can't deal with this right now.
What do you think
2
he's
years
thinking?
later.
What do you think goes through a man's head when he
Wanna fuck?
reaches out?
It
But
has
like
to be.
that's, I mean, sure.
Do you think I'm the one that got away in his mind? Do you really think so?
No, but I mean, I just, it's like, how shitty can you be then? If that's really, I mean, I guess that is what it would be.
April 2018. I looked it up because
Did you write him back or like?
No, I just deleted it.
You should be like, because what did he say again? Like,
how's life? How's things? Whatever.
like excellent. Go fuck yourself. That's what I would write.
Well, I wanted to write. Do you think I hate myself that much?
You should write exactly that. I dare you to write that.
Well, I already deleted it. I don't know. Maybe I should do it for women everywhere.
I think you should do it. The same way that I confronted that guy about who was married on Bumble.
I just don't want to engage. I feel like he would totally engage.
No, but I would say, do you think that I
hate myself
that much?
enough.
I'll answer for you. The answer is no. And then ignore, and then delete him. That's what I would do. Because that makes me furious.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just sitting at my cute little desk right
just
there.
pops out of nowhere.
Doop, 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 working on some things. And then, bing, got that text. I could not believe
You
it.
honestly should do it for like any future girl that he's going to come across. Because if you like put him in his place in this, because I remember he was like, I don't think he's like a bad human in theory.
Our second date, he came to one of our shows.
Yeah.
You came out with us.
I know. I
really
tend to
liked
be
him.
the third wheel on your dates. But I think, well, we'll talk about it later, but I think you should do it.
You know I'm not. I don't even want to.
I'll do it for you.
Okay. Anyway, that's just crazy.
That's fucking annoying.
So crazy.
Don't do that, guys.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, in other news.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
Girl, I
halftime
did.
show?
Fucking loved it.
It like blew my mind.
It.
I was not. So here, can I just say?
Yeah.
I've been very, loosely, I don't follow football, but I was very into this whole Colin Kaepernick situation where he was taking a knee during the national anthem, and then eventually he got forced out of the league. And then they tried to pretend like they were going to let him back in, and then they didn't.
Right.
So it was like all this crazy roots. So then a lot of other, like they asked Rihanna to be the halftime show, and she was like, hell no, I'm not going to be partaking in that.
Cue Adam Levine.
Oh my God, yeah. And that's what I kind of figured, that they were going to end up with some like white person that was going to just be like, I'll do it, like whatever.
Right.
But when they picked J-Lo and Shakira, I was like, oh man, are they like turning on all of us? Like, why are they going to do this halftime show? They're going to sell out. Like, oh. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, fuck, they could not have picked a better halftime show for this year. You know what I mean? And that they did not sell out. They did the opposite. I mean,
I was so proud to be a woman.
So proud to be an
American. Oh, yeah.
I was so when J-Lo opened up her American flag and showed that Puerto Rican flag, I was like sobbing. I was like, this is so good. And then that Let's Get Loud song, because so I don't know if everybody was like watching or caught on, but like she alluded to like the kids in cages, which like made me sob, and that was so beautiful. And all the different like dance styles that they were doing were the choreography was so good, so engaging. But also that they did the Let's Get Loud song. I sound like such a nerd. The Let's Get Loud song. They did that one right at the kids in cages part, and then is it her daughter that was performing with her?
Yes.
She sang "Born in the USA" for like a second, and like they did and that Let's Get Loud song. I always thought was like, oh, it's a fun dance song, but it means something totally different to me now. Anyway, that's my gushing. What did you think?
Oh, I mean, I wanted to immediately sign up for a dance class.
I know, right?
I thought it was just so empowering. I thought, well, to be honest, it was so funny because we were watching at a friend's house, and my friend's little daughter, who's 1 year old, Zara, she loves music, and so she was dancing along, and she was dancing and twirling so much that she got dizzy and fell down. I was like, she was inspired. She was so inspired by their performance that she got dizzy and fell down, and that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah,
it was
I got dizzy and fell down.
Yeah, it was just so cool, but it was crazy. So the next day, then the internet blew up. These conservatives were starting to talk about like, great, during the Super Bowl, I had to explain to my children what a pole dance meant, and like, why were these women so scantily clad, and like people on Twitter were calling them sluts.
I know,
and it's just like the amount of slut shaming. I mean, you cannot win if you're going to do the halftime show,
Right.
I mean,
but especially as two very strong Latina women, who also are like older women,
43 and 50, looking
better than all of us. Yeah, come on, don't even. And somebody online was talking about how they were like, you're mad at these women because even old ladies won't fuck you now, because if old ladies get real hot, they're not gonna fuck you either.
Right.
So like, I was like, yes, I love this.
Right.
And it makes us, and not that like it should be about aging and like in a way where you still look like you're 20 all the time. Like I get that, but also good for them. I mean, they work really hard to look like that too. Yeah.
Also,
what occurred to me, by the way, as a performer, I think you'll appreciate it. On my fourth viewing of it or something, it occurred to me that I think Shakira is still touring. Like she'll perform and she's got her sets and stuff, and she's amazing. And a lot of people were doing this. Like that's another thing that's annoying. I saw a lot of like, who is better, Shakira or J-Lo?
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, why are we doing that? Don't compare.
Nope.
The other thing about it is not only is J-Lo older, but she hasn't been on tour dancing like that for years.
No, she went on tour last year.
But then but she like made a movie and like, maybe
she's doing it all, girl.
I just thought that she might be a little bit more out of
she did a world tour last year just because
never mind. She's great. I thought she killed it, so I wasn't. But I was like, if they think she's not quite as like dynamic, I was like, I don't know that she has done as many like immediate shows, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Well, she was 50, and she was amazing, and she was amazing.
I love their costumes. I love
the costumes are amazing.
They were dance costumes. That's the thing that these people were getting all up in arms about. It's like, I've seen some of my friends' kids, dressing up for their dance contests.
Oh my God, children, like children, all sexy, weird outfits.
And so let's all calm down. Let's sing Taylor Swift song. Let's all calm down.
Also, if you're a 50-year-old woman, you can wear whatever the fuck you want to wear.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like you've earned that. If you. The other thing is, and this is the obvious argument everyone's making, but that all the cheerleaders wear almost nothing and are very
I didn't even
sexualized.
Think about that.
Yeah. They're so sexualized,
right?
But they're very white looking and they're very non-threatening. And we think of a cheerleader as somebody that supports the men, not as like a strong, independent woman that's singing
People
"Let's
get
Get Loud."
They're like, "Whoa, I can't handle this," so they slut shame them.
But also
try to put them in their place. But no more.
And also,
we're not doing that anymore.
Very much a race thing.
Right.
There's all these conservative people that are up in arms. I think if there had been another act where it had been more, if it had been Taylor Swift in that outfit, I don't think we'd hear anything about it. Because also her body isn't quite as like
when
curvaceous
Britney Spears
either.
Did "I'm a Slave for You,"
right? That was fine.
She was wearing a snake and nobody complained.
I mean, people complain a little bit, but not like this. I mean, it's a different thing for sure.
Right.
And I think people are so afraid of Latino people right now because of like the border. Like, there's so much rhetoric against like people crossing the border and illegal immigration, and these people are taking over. So when they see strong people being amazing on stage that are from different, Central, South American,
not
countries,
Louisiana.
yeah, they are scared.
Yeah,
which is so unfortunate. I was very excited.
Wow, that was amazing.
And so much Spanish. I was so excited to hear so much Spanish in this set.
I got to take a Spanish class.
I mean,
that's my goal this year too.
Yeah.
Because I know un poquito.
That's good. Yeah, it's a good start. But you want to. That's always good too.
Yes, of course.
Anyway, sorry that we could go on forever.
I know. But I'm just glad that we could talk about it.
Yeah.
And fuck Ari, the guy.
Oh, yeah, and fuck Ari. Fuck you, Ari.
Fuck you, Ari.
I'm going to send him a text message. I'm going to take the phone. All right. Speaking of fucking. We have a little promo for you.
Valentine's Day is coming up, and have we got a place for you to go for Valentine's stuff? Because as you know, free stuff is the best, but free stuff that will ignite your Valentine's Day is even better.
Check this out. When you go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item, you'll get it at 50% off. That's amazing by itself. But here's where they load on the free stuff.
When you enter our exclusive code at checkout, HORIO, not only do you get 50% off the one item, you'll also get 10 tantalizing free items.
First, for your viewing pleasure, 6 free movies.
Next, a free mystery pack that includes an item for him, a special toy for her, and something we know you'll both enjoy.
Plus, free shipping.
Now, that's a lot of free Valentine stuff.
So head on over to adamandeve.com and be sure to use offer code HORIO. Again, that's A-OK. I can't spell. Again, that's WHOREO. Because without it,
there will be no free Valentine stuff. So that's HORIO, WHOREO, at adamandeve.com.
I'm so turned on.
Happy
right now.
Valentine's Day from us.
Valentine's Day. I thought it'd be fun to just like reclaim it for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fuck Valentine's Day. Let's reclaim it as Vulva Day.
Sure, that's a V Day.
V-Day.
Yeah, and have it
Vulva
be
Day.
and wherever you're at in your life. Having Valentine's Day be about self-love this year would be a great idea.
I think that's a beautiful idea, Katie.
Great.
So let's dive in.
Okay.
So you, last week, when we were talking to Zach, you mentioned that we have to
in front of Zach, who was very, I think, uncomfortable.
God, I love that interview. He's so amazing.
He's great. Yeah.
You said you got to watch the Goop episode
on Netflix.
The Pleasure Is Ours. Episode 3, The Pleasure Is Ours.
And I'm not going to vouch for any of the other episodes. I know people have mixed feelings about her, and I get it. I don't want everyone to be turned off just because of that. But this episode is, everyone should watch it.
What made you pick that up? Like, because when you look at it, they have so many different, their big thing at Goop is like magical thinking, which I don't know what the fuck that means, but all their episodes are like talk to a psychic or psychedelic mushrooms or sit in an ice bath. And right. I'm so happy you chose the orgasm one.
Well, when I watch TV, sometimes I just want the most mindless thing. So a lot of times, like this sort of reality/documentary series, like you'll learn a little something, but also you don't have to like pay attention. So that's why I went to that anyway. And then when it said The Pleasure Is Ours, I just knew it was going to be about women's sexuality. I don't know why. I don't know if there was like a tag on it, but I was like, ooh, I'm curious. And I didn't know I don't know if I thought it was going to be good or not, but holy shit, it like from the beginning, it kind of like took me in and like blew my mind because they had that older lady, Betty Dodson, who's 90 years old.
90? I didn't know she was 90.
She's 90. And she's been teaching women how to masturbate for 50 years, since the 70s. And it's still an uphill battle for her, which is crazy.
Right.
But I was just really, I was very taken with the whole episode. I think every woman should absolutely watch it, but every single man should watch it too.
Yes, I think every man should watch that episode. So they do show vulvas.
Well, so that was the first thing. And we make this mistake all the time. We call our downstairs department vaginas, but Betty made it very clear and corrected Gwyneth Paltrow that it's not, the vagina is just the birth canal. So when you're talking about the stuff that you see, That's your vulva.
Right.
So we're going to start saying vulva instead
Vulva.
of vagina because we got to say the right thing.
Man, Gwyneth Paltrow had a hard time saying vulva.
Oh, yeah.
God, that was boring.
Yeah. But that was not the best part of the show. But we should say vulva. That's all I want to say about that.
Well, okay, so I was trying to do more research after watching that episode into the female orgasm, and I learned that there's actually 4 parts to an orgasm for a man or a woman.
Okay.
And
Do
the
tell.
first one is excitement.
Okay.
Then there is plateau, which I feel like I'm constantly caught.
Oh,
at the
I see.
plateau.
Right,
That's like
plateau.
when you're about
right.
to, you're building, your body's getting there. And then there's the actual orgasm of sensation. And then there's the resolution. So, and that's
Right, I see.
for everyone.
Great. Yeah.
So that's simple.
I think what's hard is that some women don't know how to get there.
Right.
They don't know. First of all, women are not particularly encouraged, or many women are not still in this day and age, to masturbate.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still a lot of shame, I think, around masturbation for women.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as, I think people still think like, oh, you're a sex fiend or something, or you're dirty, or there's a lot of buildup around
A lot of my married women friends, the conversations I have with them, it seems like they do not masturbate anymore. I mean, they're very busy, especially with children. Me, I'm single.
Yeah,
and I'm
just
just
gotta
sitting
do
here
all day long, just
masturbate
sit in the
almost every
bed,
day. I got lots of time.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, but let's get into it. I would like to just ask you, like, what is your relationship with masturbation, but then also, do you remember your first orgasm?
Yeah. I mean, my thing was, I feel very fortunate because when I mean, my whole masturbation story is online on a Risk episode, so I feel like I don't need to go over it again. But basically, like, I accidentally found out that was a thing. Orgasms are a thing when my mom had like this back massager and I put it in a specific area.
That's Kevin Allison's Risk podcast.
Yes.
Look up Katie Frame. It's
God,
an
or
incredible
don't,
story. It's great. It's so funny. It's really well
I
done.
can't believe it's like out there, but
Yes.
it's yes, you can listen to that. So I won't go into all that again, but yes, the first time I even touched anything down there was with that massager, and I orgasmed. So I like never knew that you couldn't. And I remember like reading things as I got older, being like, you know, do you think you're orgasming, but you're not really? And I was like, I don't know. Am I not? I don't know. Like, I think I am, but I'm not really sure. And so there was like a lot of confusion around what is normal and what is not normal. But then the big thing was I felt a lot of shame around it because I was pretty young. I was probably about like 11 or so. And then I was doing it like all the time. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was just like, you know, but I would try to control myself and I'd see how long I could go without it because I felt so shamed by it because I knew boys did it, but I didn't know any girls that did it. And my shame lasted through my senior year of high school, where I was playing. We were all away one, like at a friend's, you know, in the summer. We went to the Chesapeake Bay for a weekend. It was like boys and girls, and we played a truth or dare. And one of the boys asked, the truth was, how many times a week do you masturbate, to this other girl? And she said 11.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God, like that's amazing. Like I don't masturbate that many times. But the fact that she just sort of was like, that's how many I do. And we had a conversation about it. And she like freed me from the shame that I had been carrying. And that was it. And that was my life changed with my body and sexuality after that point. And I was like, fuck everyone for making me feel bad about this when everyone's doing it and nobody's talking about it. I was kind of angry about it, but I was also so relieved. And I've never had, even when I was feeling shameful, I was like exploring a lot and I was like trying different things out. And I was like, nothing like dangerous, but like, just like what if I did this with my hand, or if I did, also because I was trying to recreate that vibrator thing and I never was able to do that. So I had to figure out other ways to whatever. So I felt very comfortable with my body once the shame was gone. And then I was very much about, you know, when I was younger, less so, but as I've aged, especially, I'm very like, I want to talk to my partners and be like, this is what I want. This is like, don't do that, you know. But even then, but it's still hard for me. And I want to get into that later. But tell me more about your situation.
I cannot remember my first orgasm. I think my first huge orgasm was way into my mid-20s. I think.
Do you remember, did you masturbate as a kid at all or
no? No.
Did it occur to you?
No. I mean, I humped like pillows and, Care Bears,
But when you were humping, like what were you doing?
Just
why were you doing that?
There was like a wetness and that, I have told this story before, but the first time I actually felt like tingling and like a wet sensation down there was San Antonio, Texas on a family trip when everyone was asleep and I found softcore porn and I was really young and I was like, what is this? And then some tingling happened. And so that I remembered that distinctly. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19, but still years after having sex, I don't think I had an orgasm when I was with that person. In high school, lots of dry humping, never orgasmed during that.
Well, who's gonna orgasm? Yeah, not easy to orgasm.
Let me tell you, I caused a lot of boys to come in their pants, but
I didn't get this.
Lots of dry humping. I was the dry hump queen in high school, but there was so much shame around it. I remember the first time I got fingered by a boy, and I cried. I came home, not during. I was like, this is great. I really like this guy. Oh, we're doing this. Okay, I've heard of this. I came home later that night and just cried, thinking I was going to burn in hell, because that's all I'd learned is that like you do not have sex before marriage. Do not have sex before marriage. And then here I had a man's fingers up in my hoo-ha. So there was so much shame around it. But I believe the first time I really tried to masturbate with a vibrator was in college. I played this game. I was in the theater fraternity, and so it was like a co-ed group, and we played this game, Bigger, Better, or I can't remember the name of it, and my memory is so bad. But basically, you start with every group. There's like 5 teams of 5 people, and everybody starts with a penny, and then you're gone for the afternoon, and then you come back to see what you have got.
Oh, that's fun.
After you trade, you bargain, whatever, and one group, I can't remember what my group got. We lost, I remember, but one group came back with this huge pink vibrator, and I had never held one before. I'd seen one on TV, but I've never gone to a sex store. I'm 20 years old probably, and I was so fascinated by it. And then at the end of the day, after our fraternity retreat, they're like, who wants this stuff? And like, nobody touched the vibrator. So
I'm sure everybody wanted it. I know. No one was brave enough to do it.
Yeah, I took it. I took it home,
you.
And I started playing with it. But the amount of shame I felt, and I don't think I came from it. I was just caught at that plateau.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, oral sex, I started having orgasms that way and figuring out my body. But it definitely took me to be in a really solid relationship with a person that we could really talk about what I enjoyed. And he would be like, do you like this? How about this?
Right.
And so it took me a long time.
And I think that your story is, I don't think that mine's uncommon either, but I think yours is also very common. Like, I think that some kids start really young and then maybe whatever. And then some people, it just takes longer to get to that point. And all of it's normal. Right. So that was like the part of the Goop show that really stood out to me. Wasn't just the like learning how to orgasm. And that's also interesting and important, and it's in there. And that you actually see a woman go have an orgasm on the show to demonstrate that female orgasms don't look like they look in porn.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. And also that we're very pro porn. It's not that we're against porn, but I think you have to take it with a grain of salt. And unfortunately, I feel like people don't. I think men really, I think I'm learning this more and more, because to me, it's so obvious that it's fake. When I see a woman orgasm, quote unquote, on those porn things, I'm like, there's no way she's orgasming from what that guy's doing to her. Like, there's just no, that looks so painful.
No way.
Like, that's not what I'm, but she's good at faking it. So I was very like aware that it was fake. But I think a lot of men don't know that. And I've been experiencing that as a single person, that these grown ass men will go into situations with you and you're like, where did you learn that? Why would you think that I would like that? Who likes that? And I had an experience not too long ago that I wanted to share. there's a part of the show where they talk a lot about like you have to be able to ask for what you want. So part of why masturbating is important is so that you know what you want, because you don't know what you want until you know what you want. And then you have to be brave enough to ask for it. And traditionally women are thought of as there to please the men. We're there to be nice to the men and there for the men. So it's like really hard for us to ask for what we really want, you know?
Yes.
And I struggle with that too, even though I'm like, oh, I'll just say what I want. And like, I will say it, but it's still, sometimes I don't. And sometimes I don't say it the way that I want to say it, which is like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like sometimes you're like, hey, you know, it'd be really nice is if you could
Don't
just
jam
like
your
take
fingers.
Can you not jam your whole fist into my vulva? Please?
There's 8,000 nerves down there, and
Yeah, and that's really not like I
not
think you
touching
want
one
me
of
to
them.
be turned on, but I'm not right now. Like this isn't working for me. So I was dating a guy. I really wanted to talk about this story because this kind of blew my mind. But it's like exactly the reason why women don't ask for what they want. I was seeing a guy for a couple months ago, and like there was some of the sex was really fun. I was like into some of it, but there was always this sense that he wasn't listening to me, and that he had an idea of the way of what I would like. And then as opposed to like listening to me saying like, hey, can you do it like that instead? Or can you slow down for a minute? Or because I was saying these things and he wasn't really taking the notes very well. You know what I mean? And he just was like, no, it's like this. I think because he watched so much porn, because a lot of his moves were very like porn with a capital P. And like, you know, I was sort of like navigating it to make it more like fun. Because I'm also at a point where I'm like, sometimes sex can hurt women a little bit, even at the best of times. So I've like been in this mindset where I'm like, no more of that. Like if it hurts a little bit, I'm like, nope. I'm like, we're gonna switch this up. So that means that there's a lot.
Doggy style, straight on. It hurts
Sometimes.
for you, but I know the angle now.
Right. And also I think it's different for each woman. And that's the other thing is like this guy had been in a relationship with another woman for like 10 years. And so maybe some of the stuff she was into, but doesn't mean that I'm into it. And like like you said, angles, like I do like doggy style usually, but it does at certain angles depending on the way the man is built and things like that, you know? Right. So all this stuff. So I'm trying to navigate this thing. I'm like trying to like have a relationship with this person and things are going pretty well, but it's a little bit, I'm like, we got to work on this listening thing. So then a night pops up where we smoked a little marijuana and people are always like, oh, sex is so great on like weed. For me, what happens is my pussy just dries up. Yeah. I get so dry. And then that's where sex can really hurt, right? I'm saying this for men too, because I think that they don't fucking know. And there's a million reasons why you might be a little bit dry down there. It might be because you smoked. It might be because you're a little bit drunk. It might be because you're tired. It might be because you're dehydrated. It might be because your hormones are funny that day. It might be because you're not turned on. It might be you might be very turned on, and for some reason it's just not happening down there. And so that's normal too for women to not be wet all the time. Men expect you to be wet like 24 hours a day. Sometimes you're not. If you're nervous, sometimes if you're nervous, it like is harder to get it going. So if you're listening, we get it. Totally get it. So that night, we smoked a little weed, and then I was dry. So we kind of start, and I'm like, I want to do this. I want to have sex right now, but this is gonna fucking hurt. Right. And I'm not doing that anymore. So I said to him, hey, like I'm into this. This is really great, but I'm just, I'm a little dry. I have an idea though. Do you have any lube? And the look on this man's face was as if I had told him that his mother was a cunt. Like he was so upset with me.
Oh no.
So upset with me. And I was like, and then I'm like trying to not backpedal, but I'm like, hey, it's just that like, I'm explaining to you, sometimes it's dry and it's not you and it's not you, it's not you, it's not you.
Oh, rock him to sleep.
I mean, these fucking babies. And it's not just him.
Jesus.
It's not just him. There's so many men that do this. So then he got it, but then it was, and I swear to God, our relationship started to like, he like lost interest in me. Like he was like, he was, I think his feelings were so hurt by something that had nothing to do with him. And this is why women don't ever ask for what they want, because the men are so sensitive, and they think it's about them when for 1 second, get your head out of your ass. Not everything is about you.
I've had men, because I love toys. I like to introduce toys into the bedroom pretty quickly because it gets me off faster.
And you know what you like.
Yeah, and man, some guys it just hurts their ego so much that you cannot introduce a vibrator, heaven forbid, or a dildo. Why? Yeah, I have a dick. Why would you want a dildo? It's like, because it's better with two. It's like, come on.
Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want. But like, I've definitely hurt men's feelings because I wanted to use a sex toy. But that is insane. Luckily, the person I'm with right now, oh my God, the hottest thing I've ever done with a partner is for Christmas last year. He took me for my present. We went to a sex store together, and he let me pick out whatever I wanted. It turned me on so much, and I felt so empowered to say, I want that. And he was so excited. He got so excited about it. And he is confident within himself to be okay with it all.
Right.
So that's number one. You got to find a partner that is there for you and is your fan. And
if anybody ever tries to shame you for like asking for what you want in the bedroom,
bye-bye.
There has to either, if it's your husband, like then you have to have a talk, you know, or you get rid of him. But I think also we're not doing a service to men. And I think women, as we date men and we fake our orgasms and we don't say what we want, we're just perpetuating this idea that they're doing a good job when they're not, And here's the other thing I wanted to say really badly. Hi guys, how are you out there? Men out there that have girlfriends and wives and things. You're probably thinking like, oh, good thing my wife doesn't have this problem. A good thing that we don't, like, our sexual life is really great. I need you to ask her. Because I think this is what's going to blow a lot of men's minds, is that women lie so much about this because of the shame and because they don't feel empowered to ask.
And we don't want to hurt men's feelings.
And we don't want to hurt your feelings.
I think for me, a lot of times is I love a person. If I'm, at this point, I don't generally sleep with strangers, but I love it though. If you do, that's great.
No, it's fine.
But when I love a person and feel a connection, I don't want to hurt their feelings. And so I want to go along with it. But I think that, yes, like you're saying, you're doing them a disservice. To yourself mainly, but also to the relationship. You have to trust your partner and communicate with them.
For sure, but also for the men, because I think it's really hard for them. So I want to talk to the men again. Men, this is your challenge for today or for whatever this week. I want you to go to your partner and I want you to ask her, are you satisfied with our relationship sexually? My guess is she'll say yes, even if that's not true. Then the next question you should ask is there anything else that you would like to try in the bedroom that we haven't tried yet? She might freak out and be like, oh no, I mean, it's fine. Everything's fine. So, or she might say, yes, actually there is. Or she might say, no, everything's great. The next thing you do is the next time you're in bed with her, as things are going, you don't think about yourself. You think about how is she enjoying this? And then you ask her, like, do you like this? Do you like this? How does this feel? And then give her chances, because sometimes it's hard to say, I want this, but it's easier to say like, yes, I like that. No, I don't like that. That's a little bit easier for her. So check in with her while you're having sex. I think that so many men don't do that at all. I dated someone for a couple years and he was so good about checking in, and we had like crazy synergy in the bedroom because of it. Like our sex was amazing. And I kind of took for granted that was a thing. Out there in the dating world, I'm like, oops, I think so many men don't know, and women just sort of don't say. So please, like, make that as a challenge, and then send us an email. Let us know how it goes. Because I think that what I would want the most from every other person I ever sleep with, again, hopefully it's just one person, because I just want to meet my fucking husband. That's fine. That's a side note.
On this Vulva day, can you please send Katie a husband?
Please, somebody. But I think that the number one thing I want in the bedroom for real is somebody that listens to me and asks. And then when you're at that point, then the sex can be amazing. And that's what I wanted to say that to that guy that I dated. I was like, if you listen to me, I will fucking change your life. I know I can. And I know we were already getting there, but it was just so much work.
Can I complain a little bit about sex?
Sure.
So when I come and have a mind-blowing orgasm, guess what? Me want to go night-night.
I know. I know.
I've been having a really big issue with this, and I don't know how to talk about it with my partner, because after I come, I have to take care of him.
So that's like a thing that, don't you think? Because remember, that's like a stereotypical thing that they always joke with men. It's like they come and then they fall asleep. right?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
thing.
but guess
but
what?
it's
A
but
lot
it's
of
for
them do.
everybody. I think it's everybody.
Yeah,
though.
me too.
You know what I
Yes,
mean? I think
yeah.
that's like
It's just
as
not
women are being more
fair.
empowered to like have an orgasm, they're realizing like, oh yeah, you get kind of tired afterwards.
Yeah.
I think that you got to negotiate some of that a little bit with your partner. Also, if you can come at the same time, that's always like my favorite, because then we're like, we did it, and then we can like both go to
That's
bed
true.
happy.
That would be
I
nice.
love that as like a fun challenge. Always is like to try to time it out like that. That to me, and that's the hottest that I get is when we come at the same time. But it depends on what you're doing and what you're wanting to do and stuff.
Right.
I think sometimes too, it's not. This is tough because I think that also sometimes you're not in the mood to give a blowjob, or you've come and you're like, you don't want anything near your vulva.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean,
for a little
after
while.
I come, it's
Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm
it's
done.
bye-bye.
or-
It gets all dried up. And
Yeah, and that
Bye-bye.
happens, and then
Night-night.
you kind of putting up with a little bit more pain, like we were saying. I think
Right.
men don't understand how painful sex can be for women when it's
Right.
not going well. You know what I mean? And
Right.
even
Right.
again at its best, sometimes there's still pain involved that you kind of put up with to make sure that your partner is satisfied. I don't know that I have a really great. But you know what I do think? I think that if men know that that's a thing,
we want to go to sleep.
or
as
that
well.
or that it can be painful after
Oh,
we
I
come,
see.
they might on the one hand, yes, like men are trying to be better about having women come first, which is great. But then the flip side of that is like, okay, now maybe we pull out the lube, and that you're okay with, that everyone's okay with that, and
Right.
that they just know that that's just nature.
Right.
So maybe that's an option. Or if you feel like giving a blowjob, maybe that's the way you go that moment. I definitely have had. I mean, I have problems with that all the time. But I mean, sometimes I don't. And then sometimes, with my partner that I was dating for a while, what we would do is like I think he like kind of knew that was like a thing, and we would like rest for a moment.
Ooh.
And then
a
I'd
nap.
get back
Ooh, I like
into
that.
it. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I'd get kind of back into it, and then I could go again, and I was like, felt great. And then I would
There
come
you-
again.
you hear-
and
you
I
heard it
come
here
again and again and
first,
again.
folks.
Yeah.
Take a nap.
No, not a nap, but just like you don't but he takes his dick out of your body,
And
you
you take
let
a
your
nap.
little like
Right.
your little vulva rest for a minute, and then you touch each other and you keep touching him, and you do stuff that's more chill, and then you can start again, and he's still ready to go because he's been ready, and you're way more ready, and then you fucking orgasm all fucking night. It's amazing. That I
I
recommend.
need lingerie that says, after I come, I need a nap.
yeah, totally. I'll make you something.
I love it. I love that. Well, one thing else I wanted to talk about on the Goop episode that I did not know, and I thought, I'm not a sex expert or educator or anything, doctor, nothing.
Really?
But no.
I thought I gotta go. I thought that's what you were here for.
But Betty said that there are two different orgasms: the tension orgasm and then the rock and roll.
Yeah, that she has a whole method.
Yeah, the rock and roll method, which, to be honest, I felt a little prudish watching her watch that her partner. I guess they're both business partners. Betty was instructing this woman how to do the rock and roll method, and it seemed very sensual and very slow. And they were saying that you could either just take off, or it could take like 40 minutes to an hour to do this. And it's like, it's rocking your pelvic floor back and forth with penetration, and they were using the magic wand vibrator.
Yeah.
And that, but slow.
Yeah.
And, it just made me think like a lot of the sex I have is just, I think the orgasm is the tension, like, I'm coming. Oh,
Yeah.
But like, I'm very, very interested in this rock and roll method now.
Well, there's like a whole thing because the thing that I like the best, and it's hard to get a guy to get into this, but this is what I mean by like, if you listen to me, I will fucking change your life in the bedroom. Is that so many guys want to get in there and then just like come immediately. And that's what they know, and that's what they think is like good sex, and like that's really
Boom,
against and that they feel good and they came hard, like whatever. So like and good, that's great, that works for you, whatever. But women tend to need more time with these things, and if you give the woman more time and give her more attention and get her like really warmed up, not only are you building the tension, so that it's called edging, where you don't come and like you hold off your orgasm for as long as you can do that as a couple. And the orgasms are way better for everybody. And also, if you're a person that has a hard time orgasming, then it's not even so much edging for you, it's more like having the time to get to where you need to be. And it can be edging for your partner, and he's going to be like, oh my God, this is the most amazing. You're like a sex goddess. And you're like, thank you. But like, like I know. but the thing is, it's like, you have to let the time be there, because like you coming in and being like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and fucking her, like, that's not going to work. Also, the other thing that's not going to work is like, you have that story of the tantric guy who just like went on for hours.
Oh God.
But the problem with that was that my guess is he wasn't listening to you.
No.
He was doing what felt good to him. And you have to work together. Like if he had been like teasing you and been very conscious of your body, you would have been like, this is fucking amazing.
Right.
And you could go for, I mean, I don't really want to go for hours, but like you could go for
27 minutes.
You could go for
minutes.
40 minutes. You could stretch it to 4, but I'm just saying.
Well, I guess with a nap in between, that's perfect.
Exactly. It's perfect. But it's like that, or whatever amount of time. But it's just that if you're feeling rushed as not you or whoever, anybody's listening, like you can calm, just like get these dudes to calm the fuck down a little bit.
You need to calm down.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what Taylor Swift's song's really about.
And then there's also time. I mean, also like you can have sex fast and have it hot and heavy, and that's fun too. And people like that too. I'm not saying you can't, but I think that there's the 2 orgasms. There's different ways to do it. Take control. I think I'm gonna misquote her, but she says control the fuck. Right?
Running the fuck.
Yeah, you run the fuck. I said it wrong. You run the fuck.
Love it.
Just everybody, all the ladies out there, I want you to start running the fuck, which is what I do. But then people get weird. But if they give in to me, if they lean in. We're great. Then we do good. Or if sometimes I don't have to run the fuck, if they're already asking you how you're doing, then you can be working together as partners, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, this was such a cis woman.
But this isn't a cis woman thing, because they have and you should watch the episode. I mean, you watched the episode, but there's a lesbian woman on there too.
Oh, right.
And that it's not just cis women that have trouble asking for what they want.
No, yes.
It's women in general have a really hard time. We're so shamed about our bodies that we're like not allowed to enjoy them. So no matter who you are.
So on this Vulva Day, folks, just in a couple days, celebrate yourself, right? Love yourself. Be aware of your sexual wellness. I like that term.
Yes.
Learned that from Gwen.
There you go. Love it.
And I highly, like you said, recommend sharing that episode, even though it's a little silly because Gwyneth Paltrow.
But the episode is not. She's silly, but the information
so
on it is
informational,
so
and I really highly,
amazing.
like you said, again, share it with your partner. I think women everywhere should watch it, but especially men. I'm gonna make my dad watch it.
Good, make your dad watch it.
Make my dad. I'm gonna. Oh, God, no, please. No,
what is she saying?
Oh, no.
Your guy,
my partner.
Okay.
Yeah, my guy.
And men, don't forget, women are probably lying to you about their enjoyment. So just dig in there a little bit more. Listen,
you have a homework assignment.
Yep. You'll be shocked to find out that you've been lied to your entire life. Anyway.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. I don't know if this has made you horny, but it certainly
I gotta go home.
Yeah.
Woo. Anyway. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy V-Day. Happy Vulva Day.
Yes.
We love you. Bye.
Get it.
Yep.
Everybody loves a roll in the hay. Throw your hands up if you got laid today. You're lucky 'cause I feel like I'm gonna explode if I don't find someone to plug my hole.
I'm a single gal out there looking for a cowboy who can get me cooking. He can straddle my hide like in a rodeo, but only if he can keep up with a libido. I'm horny, me so horny. Does it make me a whore to say yes, sir? I'm horny.
I wanna find a man and tear him apart, or maybe make love to a girl at Kmart. But times have changed, you need a safe arrangement, or you'll wind up dead in somebody's basement.
There are plenty of people